Ooh, dark. Thank you very much, Dr. Takahashi. I'm very honored to be at your university. I will try to speak very slowly, and otherwise she must translate. She speaks English. And I just want to say that I've been having a very, very wonderful time in Japan. It's my first visit to Japan. I've never been here. And I came, of course, to go to Saitama Super Arena to see Lady Gaga. And I went to all 3 shows, and it was very, very good. So I thought I also do lectures. And so I speak for you here on that occasion, do some work. And it's always good that we can share ideas. That I work in the United States, but I use Google, and I can easily find out, and I find colleagues with similar interests in culture, and I do work now on Lady Gaga. And since 3 years now, I do work on fame, sociology of fame, on being celebrity, being popular, being in the media, and that's what I focus on. Popular culture, popular music. I know a little bit about J-pop, a little bit, and so that's some of the issues I work on. And today I will talk about my work on Lady Gaga. And this is Lady Gaga in Japan. And the work on fame. And so what I am focusing on in the case of Lady Gaga is that she is so famous all over the world, in Japan, and Asian countries, in Hong Kong, in America, in Europe, just about in any culture. And she is famous now. She is famous since 2009, 3 years. And the world today is very different from the world 30 years ago. 30 years ago, you had Michael Jackson, right? You had Madonna, but the music was very different. The music industry, there was no internet. Today there is internet, and we don't sell a lot of CDs anymore, although in Japan there's still a lot of CDs. Japan has the highest market CD selling, right? But it's smaller than it used to be. And in other countries, the music industry had changed a lot. But despite these changes, Lady Gaga has been very, very popular, very successful. So my question is why? How did she do it? How did she bring about all this popularity? And that is the central question that I have, is what I call the social conditions of fame. To some extent, she is famous because of her music, right? But on the other hand, there are a lot of musicians, not all of them are famous. So there must be something else going on too. And that is what we talk about when sociologists, when we study society, we study the social conditions, right? Of whatever it is that you're doing. Your background, your culture, your country of origin. On the other hand, Lady Gaga also talks about fame. She explicitly deals with fame. Do you know her music? You know her music, right? And like her first album is called The Fame. And her other album was called The Fame Monster. See? And so the first album is about the positive aspects of fame, and the second album is about the negative aspects. When you become very famous, for instance, you lose privacy. You lose a lot of privacy. Like yesterday, did you see in the news, Lady Gaga was shopping in Tokyo, and pictures everywhere, photographs, cameras. You see, when I was shopping too, nobody followed me. I was all alone. See? Lady Gaga is never alone because she's so popular. She's always in the public eye, always in the public. Now, maybe you've heard about this. I teach a course about Lady Gaga and the sociology of fame, and it was first announced 2010, almost 1.5 years, 2 years ago. In 2010 it was announced that I would teach this course. And I got a lot of phone calls and emails from journalists. What are you doing, professor? And now everybody talks about it. Like in the Japanese media here, you can read this, right? It says, university course about Lady Gaga. So all over the world, they talk about this course, which is very strange because I teach a lot of courses. Nobody talks about it, but it's about Lady Gaga, and she's very famous. And so when I do a course about somebody who's famous, then the course is famous too. And here, this was at Saitama Super Arena. There are a lot of the fans recognized me. They knew what I looked like, and then they all came up to me and they wanted to take pictures. So I'm a little bit famous in Japan, which I did not know. I was very generous. The fans were very, very nice to me. And now they call me Gaga Sensei, Gaga Sensei. But it goes to show how important fame is today in society. We attribute great value to fame. Lady Gaga has cultural influence. See, the fans, the way they dress, they are inspired by Lady Gaga. See, so Lady Gaga is like an example for them, a role model. And so this was very interesting. And then what I will talk about today a little bit are the conditions, like I said, of this fame on the one hand, and on the other hand, her perceptions. What does Lady Gaga think about fame? And in the conditions of fame, I talk about eight different conditions. You see 4 here. And in these conditions, some of them are well known in the history of popular culture, in the history of pop music in general. First of all, we can talk about business, marketing. So let's say if you want to be successful, you need a manager. You need a manager. You need somebody who takes care of the financial aspects of your career. Somebody who makes decisions about which record to release, about where to release a record, about organizing concerts. And this is very important. This is always important. You cannot get outside of these business things. So for instance, in the case of pop music today, what is very striking, very different than before, is pop musicians, pop stars, make most of their money by doing shows, not by selling CDs. It used to be the other way around. Second, there's legal law issues. This has to do, for instance, with copyright. Like if I write a song, then I get money for that song. And you cannot just take it. You cannot just steal it. But of course, these days with the internet, it's very difficult. But there are still a lot of legal regulations. Very striking. Maybe we'll show you later the picture. Lady Gaga sold armbands for the Japanese earthquake. So Lady Gaga gave money to Japan after the earthquake for charity. And somebody actually sued her over this. Said because she was selling a bracelet and she also charged for shipping and handling costs. And they said it's a kind of fraud. Didn't go anywhere, but see, everything she does, maybe there's going to be a lawsuit. The third issue is something that you know very well. Lady Gaga is a lot in the media. Like I hear some of my friends here in Japan told me that Lady Gaga was very positive in Japan because she was so concerned after the earthquake. And Lady Gaga has been on Japanese TV and on Japanese shows, like, she was at Summer Sonic in 2009, in the television shows, the music shows, but she was also on the cooking show. Is it called SMAP? SMAP? Cooking show on TV? And she was there too. So she appeals to a broad audience, to a lot of people. See, she uses these media. And she obviously uses the internet a lot, through Facebook, Twitter, and so on. Okay? So she is very diverse in the media. Radio, television, internet. She's everywhere. Everywhere. So it's this total strategy. Very effective. Very effective. And the fourth aspect that you see here is about the fans and the live shows. Here you see the fans waiting at Saitama Super Arena, and I'm waiting with them. See? And so she draws these huge crowds. And what is, even though I'm a fan myself, as a sociologist, I step aside, look at it more objectively, and I notice a few things. One is the Lady Gaga fans are very emotional about Lady Gaga, very emotional. A Lady Gaga fan, first of all, says, I'm not just a fan, I am Little Monster. You know the expression, Little Monster. So there's a name for it. And the other aspect is, a Lady Gaga fan will not just say, I like Lady Gaga music. No, I love Lady Gaga. See, I love Lady Gaga. So it's the heart, like this. See? So it's very strong emotion. In terms of the shows, what is very striking is it's a very strong bond. Very strong bond. Like, I come from USA, doesn't matter. I'm a fan, I'm a monster, the Japanese fans are monsters. We all belong together. So there's a strong cohesion, strong group, see? And this sense of togetherness is very, very positive and contributes a lot to the image of Lady Gaga. Very, very much. She is very, very good at this. She identifies with the fans. Like Lady Gaga is not there. Lady Gaga is here with us. You know, she's like one of us. So this very strong commonality is very important to the fan community. Here you see, again, fans at Lady Gaga show in Tokyo just a few days ago. You see the way they dress. It's very nice, obviously, but it's inspired by Lady Gaga, some of the characters that she put on. And you probably also see the colors has a little political statement. Rainbow colors, because of, has to do with Lady Gaga's embrace of rights, particularly as you see here towards gay community. So there's this notion that everybody can be part of the Lady Gaga community. See, it doesn't matter who you are. You can be poor or rich. You can be Japanese, American, Belgian. You can be young or old, right? You can be gay or straight. Doesn't matter. Everybody belongs. So there is a very strong sense of acceptance, tolerance. See? It's very important. At the same time, this activism, and maybe in Japan too, it sometimes leads to resistance. Right? There's people have problems. Some people say that's not good. She's too loose. She is too sexual. It's all about sex. She has no standards. She has no morality. So sometimes this activism and this embrace of other people leads to friction. Friction, right? But from the viewpoint of fame, it's good. Because conflict is good for fame. See? It makes people interested. Oh, everybody's talking about you. So even the people that are against you, if they talk about you, they advertise you. See? They give you free advertising. So that's very striking here. Sexuality and gender, we talked about it a little bit already. Pop singers are typically women. In rock music, the famous rock musicians, you know, the bands, Led Zeppelin, and AC/DC, and Metallica, it's all men. So there is we call that a gender stratification, male, female. And that's important for Lady Gaga, because Lady Gaga does pop music, but at the same time wants it to be a little bit more. So she has some, you know, and she made a change in her work as well. Finally, in terms of issues of New York, and global outreach is very important because, for instance, make the comparison with J-pop. I was at a seminar with Dr. Mori, and he wrote about this, and it was very interesting. Most J-pop is popular in Japan, but not elsewhere. So I saw the record store here in Tokyo, and most of the music in the record store is J-pop, right? It's very, very much. So it is music by Japanese musicians for Japanese people. And the Japanese market is very big. So you can be successful in Japan, make good money, be famous and so on, but it is more difficult to also become famous in America or Europe. Some are. There's a little bit like, I saw the anime character. Anime is popular also in America. See? So via the video technology, everybody plays the video games. Some of this music is popular outside Japan. But most of it is located in Japan. Now, in the United States, it's different. Because in the United States, if you are popular, like Beyonce and Lady Gaga and Rihanna, you are also popular in other countries. There's an advantage to being from the United States for a number of reasons. Because it has a long history of popular culture music. So it exports more easily. It's English language, not Japanese language. So people adjust to that better. And so in that sense, Lady Gaga has an advantage being American, and also has an advantage to being from New York. You know, New York is like Tokyo, right? Big city. It's very diverse. New York, all kinds of things happen in New York. Lady Gaga does poker face, right? Very dance, but she also plays piano. Yeah? She plays piano, classical. Okay? So she mixes this high culture with low culture. It's quite effective, actually. If we look at some of the statements that Lady Gaga herself has made about fame, right? What is her self-perception? So I talked a bit about the conditions. Now let's talk a little bit about her own vision. How does she subjectively see fame? Then she makes a distinction between two kinds of fame. And she calls it the fame, and fame. And probably, I'm sure in the Japanese language there are equivalent words. There is a fame that is positive. It's like honor, or status, prestige. So it is the kind of fame that commands respect. You know, this is good. On the other hand, there is a fame that is negative. Namely, everybody knows you. Everybody wants to know everything about you. Nothing is private. You are never left alone. See? And that is what Lady Gaga calls fame. At the same time, because she claims to be, let's say, an authentic artist, she sees it as her mission to be Lady Gaga. It's obviously, you know, Lady Gaga is not her real name, right? You know, she has a regular Italian-American name, but she says, I am always Lady Gaga. So it's not just a persona, it's not just a character. Like a character is like if you're an actor, right? If, let's say you see a movie, and you see Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is not an agent. He plays an agent. But that's not the way Lady Gaga sees it. Lady Gaga says, I do not play Lady Gaga, I am Lady Gaga. I am always Lady Gaga. At the same time, this is very important. It's that notion that I said before, that Lady Gaga does not see herself as up there and we are down here. She sees herself as part of this thing, this community, the community of monsters and the fans. And so the fame of Lady Gaga, so it's Lady Gaga, it's the fan community, and the fame exists between them. It's an interaction. Right? Sociology, we say it's a relation. It's a relation. It's like communication. When I talk to you, I assume somebody is listening. So it exists between the two of us. It's a very important idea in sociology. So fame, we call it, it's part of a relation. It's relational in English, right? Part of a relation. So in that sense, if Lady Gaga is famous, it must mean that we are famous too, because we make her famous. And this notion is very, very strongly felt among the fans. See, what a lot of the fans do is they take pictures all the time of one another. Everybody's taking pictures of everybody, you know, particularly the ones, of course, that are nicely dressed, that look very nice. Sometimes people will gather, so they will see somebody, and they will see not so much that somebody looks nice, but they will see that somebody is taking pictures of somebody who looks nice. And this gives attention. And then they also want the picture. They don't know who it is. Doesn't matter. It is somebody who is worth being photographed. So that's somebody famous. Right? And so eventually, it's like we're all famous. And obviously, nowadays with Twitter and with Facebook and social media, we can share it. We can share it. Like some of these pictures, like this picture, I took that picture. But this picture, this is not my picture. I got this picture on Twitter. It's very important because Lady Gaga has a lot of advantage. I would probably say that Lady Gaga has most advantage from the fans more than anything else. So there are, if you want to know more about my work, there are 3 websites that you can check out. So the first one is gagacourse.net. That's about a course that I teach about Lady Gaga. And there are some videos and some news reports and some related readings. Then my other work is on my name, MathieuDeflem.net. So if you want to check that out, even more work. And then finally, this is not work. This is me as a fan. I also do a fan site with pictures and some other stuff, you know, that you can that's just purely for the enjoyment of the music. And also on Twitter, if you want to check me out on Twitter, that you can do that too. Okay? Okay, well, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.